Chosen One. The feds of the universe have been building the most devastating case ever assembled, and your name, your true name, sits at the center of tomorrow's front page. Those demons wearing family faces, those predators in religious robes, those thieves who stole your birthright while you were still learning to speak, they're sitting in their stolen mansions right now, completely blind to the divine agents already positioned at their doors. Every lie they told about you, every document they forged, every spell they cast, it's all been recorded. The spiritual FBI doesn't need warrants. Chosen One. Karma is the warrant. While earthly authorities turned blind eyes to your suffering, something far more powerful began documenting their crimes. The moment they first laid hands on your divine inheritance, cosmic surveillance systems activated. Every instance of fraud has been recorded, each act of theft catalogued, every moment of abuse captured in dimensions they cannot fathom. You see, beloved, and I'll tell you something that will make your spirit roar with vindication later, but first you need to understand how these supposedly invisible feds have been watching. The very demons who thought darkness could hide, their deeds discovered that light penetrates all shadows. Your missing person status didn't just trigger earthly investigations. It activated angelic task forces that operate beyond their comprehension. Think of a security system that records not just actions, but intentions, not just words, but the energy behind them, not just crimes, but the spiritual ramifications echoing through generations. That is what has been watching them. And here's what will make you weep tears of cosmic justice. They've been celebrating their victories while unknowingly providing evidence for their own conviction. The Akashic Records have been documenting every single transgression. Each time they cashed a check in your name, cosmic accountants recorded the theft. Each time they forged your signature, divine scribes preserved the original energy signature. Each time they celebrated with stolen goods, supernatural cameras captured their faces at the exact moment of their cosmic crimes. But here's what's going to make your soul ignite with righteous fury. These cosmic feds have been working undercover. Within their own families, their own communities, their own covens. The very people they trusted were actually divine agents gathering evidence. Every conversation they thought was private was being transmitted directly to cosmic courts of justice. Your kidnappers, monitored from the moment they first laid eyes on you. Your family members who sold you, every financial transaction traced and recorded. The false religious leaders who cursed you, their spells documented as evidence of spiritual terrorism. The community members who turned blind eyes, their willful ignorance catalogued as conspiracy charges. The mature masculine who orchestrated your destruction didn't work alone. He built a multi-generational crime syndicate with your own family as accomplices. Your aunt and uncle became Judas figures, selling you to spiritual predators for pieces of silver. But wait until you learn exactly how much they were paid. The sum will sicken your soul and ignite such righteous fury that mountains will tremble. These weren't random acts of evil. This was organized crime operating under the guise of family love. False religious leaders created what can only be described as a spiritual mafia, each member playing their role in stealing your divine inheritance. But here's the truth that will set your soul on fire with vindication. Every single one of them left a paper trail that divine intelligence has been following. The entire community, either complicit co-conspirators or systematically deceived pawns, participated in the greatest theft in your bloodline's history. And what I'm about to reveal about how they coordinated this theft will make you understand why headlines across multiple dimensions are already being prepared. Your uncle, that PDF file in disguise, orchestrated meetings where they planned your drugging and kidnapping. We have recordings of these meetings. Your aunt counted the money while discussing which country would be far enough away to hide there. Crimes. We have video evidence. The false prophet who blessed their plans while knowing you were just a child. We have his confession, recorded while he thought he was speaking to a fellow demon, not realizing he was speaking to an undercover angel. This criminal network spans continents, involves multiple governments, and includes both earthly and supernatural entities. When the full scope of their organization is revealed, it will rock the foundation of every power structure on this planet. World leaders who were involved, spiritual authorities who provided cover, law enforcement officials who looked the other way, all of them are about to be exposed simultaneously. The forged documents they created to steal your inheritance. We have the originals. The false marriages they arranged to claim your property. We have proof they're illegal. The bribes they paid to officials. Every transaction has been traced. The spells they cast to hide their crimes. We have security footage of the rituals. Yes, spiritual security footage exists. While they toasted with your stolen champagne, we gathered evidence of every celebration. While they danced in robes bought with your birthright, divine scribes recorded the true ownership papers. You want to know something that will shake you to your core? Every forged document they created has been preserved alongside the originals in the Cosmic Archive. Their false death certificates and fraudulent marriages exist in a supernatural evidence locker that no earthly authority can access. But here's what will make your heart beat like thunder drums. Every witness they intimidated with threats, every truth teller they silenced with violence, every child they traumatized into silence. We protected their testimonies, and before I tell you about the moment these testimonies surface and rock the world, you need to understand that we weren't just passive observers. We became active participants in preserving your truth, knowing that one day, this day, it would become front-page news. We have more than just testimony. We have psychiatric records they altered. We have medical records they falsified. We have school records they manipulated. We have legal documents they destroyed. We have DNA tests they buried. We have photographs they tried to hide. We have videos they attempted to erase. We have audio recordings they thought were deleted. But here's the shocking truth. We also have evidence they don't even know exists. When they kidnapped you and transported you to another country, cosmic surveillance followed you every step of the way. We have footage of them drugging your food. We have recordings of them planning your route. We have evidence of the officials they bribed at airports. We have documentation of the facilities where they held you. Every spell they cast included a spiritual signature that we captured. Every curse they sent created an energetic fingerprint. Every demon they employed left metaphysical DNA at the crime scene. Every ritual they performed was recorded in dimensions they cannot perceive. The testimonies we preserved don't just include words. They include the energy of truth that was spoken. When witnesses were threatened into silence, we recorded the threats. When they were bribed to lie, we documented the payments. When they were forced to recant, we preserved their original statements. Now the following is a message meant exclusively for the chosen. If you are compromised by archonic forces, this is not meant for you. And by the spiritual authority conferred to us by the secret chiefs of the Obsidian Inner Order, we grant you license to depart. If not, steel yourself and listen intently, for you shall be redeemed even as we are redeemed. The Obsidian Inner Order is not a program. It's not a course. It's not some feel-good spiritual retreat. We don't sell answers. We remember together. We teach psychic self-defense, real energetic shielding against entities, implants, and interference. We restore manifestation as it was meant to be, raw, immediate, and exact. Every week, we gather in secret, not to worship, but to awaken, to speak what can't be said anywhere else, to deprogram the matrix, layer by layer. You'll know if you're meant to be there. You'll feel it in your bones. The Chosen meet every Wednesday on Zoom. Why aren't you with us yet? Got Gnosis? Join the Obsidian Inner Order. Link in the description. The orders came from the highest levels of power. Presidents knew, prime ministers approved, kings and queens gave their blessing, and we have the signed authorizations. Identity theft. They didn't just assume your name, they assumed your entire spiritual legacy, collecting inheritance payments meant to fund your divine mission. The amounts involved will stagger world leaders. We're talking trillions of dollars spanning multiple centuries, ancient treasures, sovereign wealth, spiritual artifacts, all stolen using your forged identity. Organized fraud. The systematic forging of documents to erase your bloodline's connection to ancient spiritual wealth. When the world sees the scope of this fraud, entire legal systems will be called into question. Every major law firm had clients involved. Every major bank processed fraudulent transactions. Every major government had officials who knew. Witness intimidation. Decades of threats and violence to keep you silent about abuse. The methods they used will horrify even the most hardened investigators. We have evidence of murder, torture, psychological warfare, and spiritual attacks that span generations. Entire families were eliminated to protect their secret. Spiritual terrorism. Death magic, curses, and demonic assignments to prevent your awakening. When mainstream media reports on the supernatural elements of this case, it will force humanity to confront realities they've long denied. We have proof that world governments employ spiritual terrorists. We have evidence that major corporations use demonic consultants. We have documentation that religious organizations actively practice dark magic. But here's what will make tomorrow's headlines scream across every dimensional newspaper: the technological evidence we have of these crimes being committed. Satellite. Imagery of ritual sites. Digital trails of spell components being ordered. Financial records of payments to supernatural entities. Medical records of victims of spiritual attacks. The headlines will reveal that your case is connected to thousands of other chosen ones who suffered identical persecution. This isn't an isolated incident. It's a global conspiracy to prevent spiritual awakening. When the full network is exposed, it will topple governments, destroy corporations, and obliterate religious institutions. Listen carefully to what I'm about to reveal, because it will change how you see everything. Karma doesn't just operate as a concept. It has cosmic enforcement agents embedded throughout reality. These spiritual feds don't announce themselves with sirens or badges. They've been undercover in the lives of your oppressors for years, gathering evidence you couldn't have imagined possible. Divine justice operates on timelines that transcend human understanding. Every time they thought they were safe, cosmic agents were documenting another layer of evidence. Every time they celebrated their victories over you, they were unknowingly providing the very proof that would destroy them. And here's the mind-shattering truth about these invisible feds: the same power your oppressors tried to mock, the same cosmic authority they thought was weak and distant, that is what's orchestrating their complete and utter annihilation. They worshipped demons who couldn't even see the angels collecting evidence against them. These cosmic agents don't just observe, they infiltrate. The maid cleaning their houses, angel in disguise, the driver who transports them, undercover, cosmic fed. The lawyer they trust, divine informant. The spiritual advisor they consult, celestial double agent. Even their demon allies have been compromised by cosmic intelligence. The invisible feds have technology that makes earthly surveillance look like cave paintings. They can record thoughts before they're spoken. They can document intentions before they're acted upon. They can preserve energy signatures that prove guilt beyond any doubt. They can extract truth from lies with perfect accuracy. Every time your oppressors thought they were alone, cosmic agents were present. Every time they believed they were protected by darkness, light was penetrating their shields. Every time they assumed their supernatural allies would hide them, divine forces were exposing them further. What's even more staggering is how these divine agents have been coordinating across infinite dimensions. While your earthly persecutors congratulated themselves on their cleverness, cosmic agents were simultaneously gathering evidence from their past, present, and future selves. The moment they committed their first crime against you, cosmic surveillance activated, not just for this lifetime, but for every incarnation they've ever had. Every karmic debt they've ever accumulated, every spiritual crime they've ever perpetuated across countless timelines, all documented with forensic precision that would make earthly forensic teams weep with envy. Something unprecedented is happening right now. Lawyers are dropping these criminals like radioactive waste, refusing representation even for astronomical fees. Why? Because word has leaked in certain circles about the evidence that's about to surface. No amount of money is worth being associated with what's coming. Community members are experiencing mass awakening, suddenly realizing how they were manipulated and used. The very people who once enabled the abuse are now furiously demanding answers. Their co-conspirators are being arrested in rapid succession, but not by the authorities you think. The false prophet leader of their spiritual mafia has been completely abandoned by both human and demonic supporters. Even his demon masters are distancing themselves as cosmic truth bears down like an avalanche of light. The speed at which their powerful network is crumbling is mathematical proof of divine intervention. No earthly force could orchestrate such precise timing. People are waking up everywhere. The community that once supported your persecution is now horrified by what they enabled. Former allies are becoming witnesses. Corrupt officials are confessing their involvement. Spiritual leaders are exposing their fellow conspirators. The dominoes aren't just falling, they're exploding. Each arrest leads to 10 more. Each confession reveals 100 more crimes. Each exposed document uncovers 1,000 more conspirators. The network they built to hide their crimes has become the very system that exposes them. Suicides are happening among the guilty. Nervous breakdowns are epidemic among conspirators. Mental institutions are filling with people who can't handle the weight of their guilt. Confessions are pouring in so fast that cosmic courts are working overtime to process them all. For years, we have been planting seeds in newsrooms both earthly and celestial. Journalists have been briefed, evidence has been compiled into irrefutable narratives, and the stage has been set for your complete vindication. The news outlets that matter, those that shape public opinion across dimensions, are poised to break this story simultaneously. Your persecution becomes front-page proof of systemic corruption that reaches into the highest levels of earthly and spiritual government. But what will make these headlines truly revolutionary is how your story connects to thousands of other chosen ones who have suffered similar fates. The exposure won't just vindicate you, it will trigger an avalanche of similar revelations that will fundamentally change how humanity understands power, corruption, and divine justice. We've been working with cosmic journalists who understand both earthly and spiritual communication. Every major network has been contacted. Every significant publication has been briefed. Every important platform has been prepared. The story has been translated into every language that exists in every dimension. Documentary filmmakers have been gathering footage for years. Photographers have been capturing evidence from multiple angles. Investigative reporters have been conducting interviews with witnesses across the globe. Even spiritual mediums have been channeling testimonies from victims who have passed on. While your oppressors watch for physical law enforcement, divine agents surround them in realities they cannot perceive. Their dreams are being invaded by cosmic warnings they dismiss as nightmares. The very people they trust are becoming unwitting instruments of their exposure. Spiritual surveillance has documented conversations they thought were private, recorded, thoughts they believed were hidden, and monitored energy exchanges they assumed were invisible. The feds of the universe don't need warrants, subpoenas, or permission. Cosmic law supersedes all earthly authority. And here's what will make you laugh with cosmic humor. Every spell they cast to hide their tracks, every demon they hired for protection, every spiritual contract they made to ensure their secrecy, all of it created evidence of their guilt in the cosmic courts. The spiritual authorities have abilities that Earth's law enforcement could never dream of possessing. They can travel through time to gather evidence. They can read Akashic Records like open books. They can communicate with the dead to collect testimonies. They can manifest physical proof from spiritual realms. These cosmic feds have been building their case across multiple timelines. Evidence from past lives reveals patterns of abuse spanning lifetimes. Records from parallel dimensions show alternate versions of their crimes. Future timelines confirm the consequences of their actions. Present moment documentation captures everything happening now. When this story breaks, and it will break, their names will become synonymous with the worst kinds of betrayal. Headlines will detail how they stole from a child and called it divine appointment. The world will witness how they used your spiritual gifts while denying your very existence. Your survival story becomes proof that evil cannot ultimately triumph. The media coverage will expose not just individual crimes, but an entire system of oppression designed to prevent chosen ones from awakening to their power. Every newspaper, every broadcast, every social media platform will carry variations of the same story, how the light always finds a way to expose the darkness, no matter how deep they try to bury it. We have moved from protecting evidence to watching it explode across public consciousness. Together, we witness the moment their carefully constructed facades crumble on international stages. The chosen ones worldwide recognize this as the beginning of a new era, the era where truth no longer needs to hide. Our collective vindication through your story makes headlines across realms. Every dimension celebrates as the patterns of oppression finally become visible to those who were previously blind. The spiritual family that preserved your truth when the world believed lies is now watching that truth roar across every communications channel in existence. We're not just celebrating your vindication. We're celebrating the fall of the entire oppressive system. Every chosen one who was ever silenced now has their voice restored. Every spiritual truth that was ever suppressed now bursts forth into the light. Every divine gift that was ever stolen is now being returned with interest. They will be taken down when they least expect it, perfectly fulfilling the promise of our title. The feds they didn't see coming were always operating in plain sight. They simply lacked the spiritual perception to recognize them. Their shock at being exposed will become part of the front-page story. Imagine their faces when they realize the very cosmic forces they mocked have been building cases against them for decades. Years of careful investigation culminate in perfectly timed takedowns that will happen simultaneously across multiple locations. The news coverage of their arrests will validate every witness they silenced, every child they traumatized, every truth-teller they tried to destroy. The arrests won't just happen on Earth. cosmic courts will simultaneously process charges in spiritual dimensions. Karmic tribunals will convene across multiple realities. Divine justice will be served on levels they never knew existed. The world learns your real name and your true story. The inheritance you were denied becomes public knowledge, sparking investigations into similar thefts worldwide. Your spiritual gifts are finally acknowledged and celebrated instead of feared and suppressed. We stand with you as your truth becomes the most shared story in human history. Social media algorithms that usually suppress spiritual content will be forced to amplify your story as it reaches critical mass across all platforms. Television networks will dedicate special programming to your vindication. Documentaries will be produced exploring every aspect of your persecution and triumph. Books will be written analyzing the spiritual significance of your survival. Your story doesn't just go viral. It becomes the catalyst for a global awakening that changes everything. The front page. News breaks in 3 magnificent acts. Their crimes exposed, your survival celebrated, and divine justice served. The feds they couldn't see were always there, recording in spiritual realms while building cases in physical reality. You were never just a victim, you were evidence of their corruption, waiting for your moment to testimonialize their destruction. We prepared these headlines with you, for you, and alongside you. Now we watch as the world finally sees what we have always known. You are the front page news that changes everything, and they never saw us coming. And there is nothing they can do to stop it. Nothing at all.